Yeah, I mean, despite the loss again, I think I feel similar to what I did on Friday night. I just saw a lot of positives in this game. I saw a bunch of guys that continue to fight. I think that we were real close. I think we put a scare in them. We were way overmatched physically. That was clear. But these guys played hard. They stood together, and we've got a lot of key contributions from young guys that just started their college careers, and they're playing with poise, they're playing with confidence, and they're playing together. So obviously I'm not happy with the loss, but I thought a lot of good effort from our whole group collectively.
And it seemed like, Coach, your guys came out ready to play right away, as opposed to that kind of 6 or 7 cool-out period that we saw Friday night.
Yeah, and hopefully we're done with that. You know, the first 6 minutes of the Ohio State game, we got the jitters out. I think this is a team, we've learned a lot about ourselves in the first 2 games, and that's the best part about playing competitive teams like Rhode Island and Ohio State. One way or another, you're going to learn a lot about yourselves. And this group showed me a lot tonight. They want to compete, they want to play, they play together. We've got a lot more weapons than we had a year ago. We still need some time to blend this thing together, but we've got more than enough to be competitive and start winning some basketball games before we did last year. I think we can win some before January.
Hey, Coach, basketball is a funny sport. Sometimes the numbers can be very deceiving. Certainly the score will not be indicative of how the guys played today. The other number that jumped out at me was they shot 64% from the floor, which I was shocked because I thought defensively you guys played excellent. I mean, whoever had the scout on Rhode Island did an excellent job. The guys knew where to be, it seemed like, every time down the floor.
I thought the same thing, and I think you got to look closely with a fine eye to realize that we did a lot of things defensively despite them shooting such a high percentage. I think a lot of those are, you know, post entries where they're close to the basket that we can do nothing against. Or times in transition where they're getting easy baskets. But for the most part, we followed the game plan. We played good, hard-nosed, gritty, tough man-to-man defense, which is important to me because that's the foundation of our program, and that's who I really want to be as a program. And I think these guys really bought into that, did a good job in that area tonight, despite the numbers, like you said, Jim.
Did you tell them that in the locker room?
I did, and it's always hard, you know, because they're down, which is good. That's why I like them, because they hate losing.
Right.
And that's why we got a chance, because we've got guys that are competitive and don't want to lose. And I did. I reminded them that, and I also told them that I think this is a better team than we were a year ago, and it only took us 2 games to figure that out. And we're not going to wait till January to win some games. So that's what we talked about.
Again, Coach Duquette joining us. So what's the next move, Coach? Because another big weekend awaits. A Thursday game, a Saturday game, and then a Sunday game. What's the plan over the next few days at practice and preparation-wise?
Yeah, we got to get back and hit the books. That's the first plan. We've been away for 2 or 3 days,
right.
So that'll be priority A. Get some rest. We're going to do a lot of film work in the next 2 days that we have from Ohio State and from Rhode Island to learn about ourselves, and then we'll start preparing for a 3-game skid down in New York City, which we're excited for, but a lot of work ahead. But we've made a lot of progress here in the first 2 games, and we've learned a lot about ourselves, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned some of the young guys. You know, team game, you don't want to point out one guy, but can you talk a little bit about Lance Crawford? I mean, this was a good backcourt at URI today, and that kid came out and played one heck of a game.
He sure did. Poised, strong, competitive, and their whole game plan was to be disruptive and to be physical. And I think for a freshman to be able to handle himself in those conditions in game 2 of his freshman year is a good sign for him, and it's a great sign for us. Jihad Thomas was another guy that gave us a great contribution, and I think the thing that stands out most about those 2 guys is their toughness. And if you're tough and you're smart, you can play this game. So they both had great games for us tonight.
All right, Coach. We appreciate the time, and we'll talk later in the week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks again.